going on, my people? This is your host, Blanche Eden with Black Training News. This is episode 8 of season 2. Please go ahead and check out the 40 episodes from season 1 if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. So, today we're going to be talking about a sensitive subject. As usual, why women need to take accountability for their own feelings and their own actions. I recently saw a kmichelle interview, and she said how women are crying to her about the things that men have done. Grown women. I don't think there's anything wrong with women supporting each other and uplifting each other. kmichelle said she's putting out $200,000 a pop to help women remove butt implants, and the women got butt implants because a man made them do it, and the show is probably going to do well because people are just entertained by stuff like this. And a part of me just really doesn't want to believe that women are really doing this, but they probably are, because they could relate to kmichelle and they understand and they need help and they want to change their lives. They made some mistakes, but I would like to see women not blame men for things that they do. At a certain age, you have to hold yourself accountable for things and stop looking for a male figure to save you. You have to stop looking for mom and dad to save you. You have to stop. I'm not going to get into religion. I will not touch it at all. I made a decision not to go into it, but a lot of people look for religion to save them. A lot of people look for something outside of them to save them. And I just, I'm making this episode to let women know you don't have to do that. You can actually save yourself. You can actually heal yourself with, I know it sounds very simple, but just going to talk to a professional about what's going on in your life. Just that first step, talking to a professional. Notice I said professional, not a friend or your girlfriend or your cousin or your auntie, but a professional. And again, some say I have tried it and I didn't like it, but sometimes you can't give up at that point. It takes 2 or 3 tries. Sometimes you have to go to 3 therapists. Go through it, because once you find the one that works for you, it's a deal. It's a done deal. You're gonna be good from there on. They're gonna help you. They're gonna help you help yourself, and so that you have independence and you're not pointing the finger to anybody. It's so easy for people in general, but speaking specifically to women, because I'm a woman, to blame somebody else. Oh, it's this, it's that. It just comes to a point where we have to say it's me. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It's a big pill and it's a hard pill. And a lot of people choke it back up. Some people choke, some people swallow it. But nonetheless, it's not an easy thing to deal with and attempt. It's scary. It causes anxiety. It causes stress. It's distracting. Sleepless nights, mood swings. You're going to go through a lot of stuff when you're trying to evolve. But blaming a man, blaming your parents just doesn't work at a certain age anymore. Blaming yourself does, though, because when you blame yourself, you have to take accountability for what you did to contribute to whatever you're going through. I think that the fact that women are even contacting a complete stranger and asking them to help her is a stretch. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it takes a lot of balls to do that. I've never once woken up and said, I'm going to contact a celebrity, a complete stranger, for help. I've never done it, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the connection is in the music or in the media surrounding that individual celebrity. I've never woke up and said, I'm going to see if I can reach out to them and see if they can help me. Now, bless the women who have reached out to her and have gotten help. That's amazing. And bless kmichelle for helping them, because it's a good piece of money. She's going to make a lot of money on that show. It's a great piece of entertainment and so forth. So it really works out for everybody, right? It's a good business deal. And that's exactly what it is. It's a business deal. and people get help in the exchange of that. But the average person probably won't hear back from a celebrity, right? Let's just speak on average. They probably won't hear back from a celebrity if they try to reach out to them for help. Look to yourself, get help for yourself. Buy a book, listen to there's a lot of great motivational speaking. There's a lot of opportunities out there to help yourself where you don't need to blame anybody anymore, because that leads you, that's just a dog chasing its tail. It leads you nowhere. Blaming people for your problems and your circumstances leads you nowhere. You end up walking in the same circle back where you started. It leads you nowhere. And blaming a man, I understand that men are not angels. I'm not saying that they are. That's not what this episode is about. But it is about just being accountable for your behavior and saying, yes, I'm in a relationship and it went sour, but it can't be the man's fault. Is everybody wrong? Is it everybody? You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. You have to ask yourself that question. Is it everybody? When is it going to be you? When is it ever your fault? Is it ever your fault? Are you too conceited? Is conceited the word? Are you too in denial? I think that's a better word. Are you too much in denial to look in the mirror and say, I contributed to my problems? I mean, yes, there are people who in the world are bad, but once you're in that situation, you have to mentally strategize and go, okay, how do I move? Life is like chess. I don't even know how to play chess, but I know that I need to get the fuck out of the way sometimes. How do I get out of this situation? Now I have to plan and strategize. I have to write things down. I have to maybe get a journal. I have to maybe talk to some people who have some experience. I might have to ask some questions. I might have to do some learning. I might have to change my career. I might have to change my hair. It could be that way. It could be something as simple as a hairstyle. I mean, depending on your situation. Don't laugh, because sometimes that's what it is. I can't tell you I've been turned down for a job because my hair. It's just not the look that they want where you want to work. Sometimes it's that. Do you want to make that personal decision? Do you want to make that sacrifice? It's just a matter of asking yourself questions. What can you do to change it? Because blaming people just puts you totally out of control. You're just giving the other person the gratification and the credit for your life. And again, you'll never change if you keep blaming people, because you would expect other people to change. Why didn't you change for me? Why aren't you doing this for me? Why aren't you here for me? Why didn't you save me? There's nothing wrong with depending on people at all. There's nothing wrong with that. But you always have to have your own. You always have to have your own. And you always have to have plans on top of plans, on top of, if this happens, what am I going to do? If this happens, what am I going to do? You have to have money saved up. You have to set yourself up for success so that you're never blaming somebody else for what you don't have. Because you planned and you put yourself in a position where you have. So you could never say it's because of you, because I don't have. You have because of you, not because of the other person. You have because of you, because you took the initiative to have for yourself. That feels better. And that is better for you and your future, your family. Oh, my baby daddy wasn't there for me. Who the fuck cares? You probably knew he wasn't going to be there for you before you decided to be his baby's mother. Most of us see this, but don't see it. I'll just use that as an example because it's something I could relate to. When I left my son's father, I literally had nothing. I didn't have anything. I had to start over again. But I would have rather have done that and depended on my family again, even though I really didn't want to go back home and live the way I was living. But eventually I got on my own again. But I didn't have to depend on anybody, and I wasn't blaming anyone for my digression. So you know, it's a hit when you have to point the finger at yourself and really woman up and do things for you. It really is a blow. It's a hit. But it's worth it because you really need yourself. And your kids need you, your family needs you, maybe your parents need you. Who knows who's depending on you, but you need you. That's most important. Stop blaming people for your problems. Stop blaming men for your problems. You can be so much happier when you stop doing that. If you just start with stop blaming people, you take off a lot of stress out of your life. If you just stop using words like it's your fault, you would take a lot of stress off of your life. Don't even use those kind of words anymore, because again, you're putting the ball in somebody else's court. You're giving them the control. Whether you want to believe that or not, you blaming someone else, you're giving them control. That means that every time that person does something, they can control you. That's what you're doing. That's what you want to keep doing. I don't think you want to keep doing that. I think a lot of times women don't know that they're actually doing that, so they continue to do it. But I'm here to tell you, that shit doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Before you know it, you're 80 years old and you're dead. I'm being sarcastic. But you don't want to continue to blame people. Take the initiative. Say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. And start doing it. And before you know it, your life is changed drastically, because you've decided to live your life and take your life on by the horns and not walk in circles and chasing your tail. Have a good night, everybody.